Hey Jim, how you doing? Whoa. Come on. I guess. Anyway, this Thursday, 1 o'clock, I'm not going to be able to make. I have a doctor's appointment at 12, and I've been waiting 2 months for this. So I don't know how long I'm going to be. So we may make the lesson at 2:30 Thursday. I'll know a little bit better tomorrow. Is that all right, Jim? Okay, a few things today. Triplet roll and some vamping patterns. Now, I'm not going to expand on the vamping patterns. I'm just going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different vamping patterns. Troy, how are you? First time here, Troy? Hello, Troy. Now, tonight, we are making the lessons at my site. Let me put my site down here before I start the lesson. Let's get some guys in the chat. Okay, hold on. We have a new member today. Okay, tonight at 7 p.m., here's how we've been working this. I had a little problem with it last night, but that's okay. At 7 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're on that site, the link I just put up there. Now, Troy, you're not on my mailing list, so please get on my mailing list, and you'll receive time and location of the lessons per week and PDFs if needed. Okay? Here's my email. Email me, and I'll add you to my list. Okay, that's my email. So email me there, and I'll put you on my mailing list. Troy, what kind of music you playing? This is like an educational platform here, and I break things down just about in slow motion. Where's that wire? Okay, anyway, like I said, we're going to work with the triplet roll. Yeah, I see it. Hit it again, Jim. I can't reach the keyboard. www.mattpatella. I got for some reason a Y in there. mattpatellalivellessons.com. I'd appreciate if you put that in there. That's tonight at 7 p.m. Okay, one more guy we need in the chat before I start the lesson. Okay. Let me try it again. There it is. Randy. Thank you. I may begin. All right. I appreciate it. Where you been, Randy? You know, about a week ago, I announced that I would send out the music program for anybody who wanted it and then to send it back to me. However, there's a problem with that. I'm only allowed to put that only on one computer. I tried installing on another computer. It won't work. So I apologize. Okay, so tonight, 7 p.m., the set I just gave you. Every day, 1 p.m. here, except Thursday this week. I need to go to the appointment. More than likely, we'll have the lesson at 2:30 that day, Thursday. Okay? Maybe. All right. Anyway, triplet roll. Does anybody know what a triplet roll is? You could answer in the chat, yes or no. You know what a triplet roll is? Okay. Triplet roll. If I did eighth note triplets, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and all they are is eighth note triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to think that eighth note triplets, 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. However, when I'm playing that now, I'm going to double the stroke like this. Instead of going 1 and the, I'm going to get 1 and the. See it? I'm doubling each count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. You got it? 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got that? Well, Troy, listen, just email me. We'll have some fun. You come to the lessons if you can. It would be nice. All right? I teach technique and I teach parts of tunes and I teach the drumming theory, the language of drumming, I think. Jim, do you understand what I just did, the triplet roll? You got it? Okay. No, not 3 in each hand. 2 in each hand. Here, I'm going to count 1 and the. Okay, Jim? How you doing, Mr. Otterman? 2 in each hand. I'm counting 1 and the. So I have 1 and the. Now go to 2. 2 and the. 3 and the. 4. Boy, that left hand is slowing me down a little bit. Okay, so you understand that now, dear Jim? Troy and Randy and Mr. Otterson, you got that? A triplet roll? So I'm doing eighth note triplet. I'm counting eighth note triplets, but I'm doubling each count, each stroke on the count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there is 3 in each hand, but that's like we're going to go into a buzz. We don't want to go into that. That's a different thing altogether. This is a triplet roll, okay? A lot of guys thought triplet roll was 1 and 2 and. That's not it, okay? It's a triplet roll. 1 and 2. 3, 4. Got it? Now, we're going to take that exercise, the triple roll. What I do with the triple roll for a while, my left hand is preventing that roll from being clean. Like I said, no lesson Thursday at 1 o'clock. I have a 12 o'clock appointment. I don't know what time I'll be back. So I'm going to try Thursday for 2:30. Is that okay on this channel? Okay, so the triple roll, here's a good exercise. I do 1 measure of eighth note triplets and then 1 measure of a triplet roll. I'm going 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, that's a good exercise to loosen up with. Man, this left hand is totally numb right now. Sorry about that. Oh boy. Okay, now, here's where we're going with this. I didn't write it out, but it's in the book. You got about 6 pages of this in your new book that you're going to purchase. We take the stick control book, and I say, okay, we look at the first line, page 5. Line 1 is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going to swing that. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so now that's how we're going to interpret the line rather. But we're going to leave the lefts out. So we're going to hit this. We're still counting triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay? So all we're going to do is play 1, 2, 3, 4, but we're going to roll in between and So I have 1 and 2 and 3. The end of the roll is the line. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There's your 5-stroke roll. Do you understand that, guys? It's 1 and 2 and 3. We go to line 2. Now, the end of the roll is going to be on the duh of the triplet. So we have on line 2, 1 and duh. Got it? 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and Do we understand that, gentlemen? You got it there, Mr. Otterson? So, I would like to try, without being written out, explain how to go from line 1 to line 2, back and forth. I'll do it slow. Line 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and You see how I made that transition? I went from 4 and 1 and then 1 and everybody wait a minute. 4 and 1 and Do we understand that? Absolutely, you understand it. Yep. So we're doing page 5 in a triplet roll. Now, if I go to line 3, it's 2 right. So I'm going to have 1 and Again, 1 and Line 3, 1 and 1 and 2. So that's now 3 lines. Do we understand the 3 lines? Want me to slow line 3 down a little bit? Okay, so if I did line 3 without the roll and just interpreted the rights and I'm swinging the line, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Got it, gentlemen? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Now I'm going to fill it in with the triplet roll. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Got it? Now, it don't matter where the roll ends with the right or the left. You're still referencing from the page. Any questions up to line 3? Okay, Mr. Otterson has it. Randy, you got it? How about you, Jimmy? How about you, Troy? All right, let's go to line 5. Line 5, you have the first right, which is 1 and 2. Oh, dang, get a bone. Ouch, that hurt. We understand. A line 5 would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm just giving you like a little sample of this because there's like 4 or 5 pages I wrote out that's going to be in the workbook number 2. I believe it's from 1 to 24, okay, with the triplet roll. Now, there's some vamping patterns, and like I said, I'm not going to expand on them. I'm just going to demonstrate them. All right, let's move the triplet roll and the triplets aside. Do we understand that? Are there any questions on that? We all understand it? Anybody want me to go over any particular line? No? Okay. I want to do the vamping patterns. And I'm going to demonstrate this now just with my right because my left is really in pain right now. So I hope you understand it. Now, the first one, there's 3 in a series of eighth notes. Well, actually, I can make 5. But we're just going to stay with 3. It's just a simple eighth note vamp. No accents, nothing. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's the first one. You could do it both right. You could do it for 3 minutes, and you could do it with the left 3 minutes or so, or whatever. Okay? But it's just straight eighth notes. A constant sound. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop. Now the second vamping pattern in eighth note is going to be an accent on the count of 1 and 3. So I'm going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you really can't hear that until I get my feet going. On the and of 2 and the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Okay, we have now just a simple eighth note. Then we have on 1 and 3. And the and. That's the 3 basic. Now, I'm going to do that as a clave and a bayonne eventually. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to confuse you. So that's the 3 vamping patterns that you want to become familiar with. You're doing with the right and you're doing with the left. I'm going to try it with my left. So my left hand, if I leave here, is okay. I'm going to play eighth notes with the left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then I'm going to take the accent on the first stroke. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then the accent on the and of 2 and the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, oh, that got stiff. Ouch. Do you understand those vamping patterns, all right? That's just the eighth note. Now we're going to go to the triplet. Again, there's 3 patterns I'd like you just to work on. You want to write this down, that's fine. You're doing a eighth note triplet plain, just no accents, just from one distance, one level. You're going to have 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're going to accent the downbeat of the triplet, the first note of the triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a couple measures of line 1, vamping number 1, number 2. Now the third one, we're going to accent the third beat of the vamp. 1 and 2. So now we have no accent. And we have now the accent on the third beat of the first beat of the triplet. Then we have the accent on the dub, the triplet. So that's 6 different vamping patterns I showed you today. Do you have them written down? Do we have them written down, guys? Okay, the third set, 16th notes. Now we're going to play 16th notes vamp. That's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, no accents. Then the accent on the 1, 2, 3, 4. One E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. Okay, and then from the 1, 2, 3, 4 to the da of the 16ths. 1 E and the 2 E and the. So we have now 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. So that's 3, 6, 9 different vamping patterns. Write them down. I would highly recommend doing them mostly with your left. Permutation studies. All right, the word permutate means to move over 1. There was no permutations. Okay, thanks, Troy. I'll add you to my list. There was no permutations there was just variables, okay? Permutate means to move over 1. For example, if I'm counting 16th notes, it's actually, remember the grid, all right? It's a grouping of 4 notes. If I took 4 notes, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and there's 4 notes to the downbeat. So let's say I want to accent the first note of each grouping of the downbeat. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and that's your vamp. Now if I say Let's permutate that or move it over one. It'd be 1E and 2E, 3E and 4E and again move it over one more. Instead of the E's now, it's on the ands. 1E and 3E and 4E and permutate it to the duh. 1E and 2E and 3E and. Now that's part of the grid. I moved over one accent every time after every measure. But the true grid is the grouping of 4 counts. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. So if I went 1E and not the E, 2E and 3E and 4E and 1 and 2E and 3E and 4E and Does that clarify it, Jim? Everybody understand that? Permutate? It's just like you were in the workbook or the Shafee book, and he's playing the pattern like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now he moves the bass drum over to the E. I just permutated the bass drum. Well, that's a big word, means absolutely nothing. Permutate. What's the other one? Oh, there's so many different names. They sound like they come from a master's degree in college. So if I'm playing this, 1, 2, 3, now the bass drum, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm just moving the bass drum over one. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so we have any questions on the vamping patterns, and the triplet roll patterns? Any questions on that? Because we're going to continue on that tonight. Now I'm going to try. I don't know what the hell happened last night. I turned my computer on this guy, and it says, please wait, we're updating. So here you go, up to 100%, then this computer turns on. And then I go to my site. Okay, well, hold on, I'll answer that. I go onto my site, set everything up, hit online, boom, it worked. Then 5 minutes later, man, I don't know what the hell happened. And I tried it again, it'll come on and come off, come on and come off. So we're going to try it again tonight. If there's any problem tonight, wait 5 minutes and we'll come back here. Does everybody understand that? No, he's not showing off, and there's no competition, Jim. You know, I hate competition because, let me talk about competition because it's totally childish and it don't mean anything. Okay? For example, years ago, there was an album, The Drum Battle. Now, this is going back, way, way back here now. Two of the renowned drummers of that time was Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich. And everybody said, yeah, Gene Krupa is better than Buddy Rich. Buddy Rich is better than Gene Krupa. Bottom line, at the end of the day, Gene Krupa is no better than Buddy Rich. Buddy Rich is no better than Gene Krupa. But now there's the entrepreneurs with the record company, and everybody bought the album. They want to hear this. Okay, I got it as a present. And yeah, I thought also I was like maybe 13, 14 years old, and I would win because I would do a drum battle with them every day after school. I'd turn it on, and I'd do the drum battle, and I won. So does that mean I'm better? It was just something in my own mind. Competition means absolutely nothing. The sticks in your hands and the patterns that you play and how you feel the music and how you hear the music is you. That is your voice, your internal feelings. That is not better than anybody, nor is anybody better than you. Because somebody who is educated and has a doctorate or a master's degree in music, trust me, some of those guys that have that degree don't know anything. All they do is they have their blank checks that the schools deposited in their account. And I've come across, yeah, I was a percussion major. Heh, okay, good for you. God bless you, and hope it didn't cost you too much money because you don't know shit. Or they have the attitude that they're better than you. And that's a bad attitude because it's not a sport, it's not competitive. And I've told you this before. Your friend that you're in competition with, supposedly, maybe it's a friendly kind of thing, whatever it might be, but it's not, there is no competition, Jim. You are where you're at. Your friend is where he's at. Mr. Otterson is where he's at, and I'm where I'm at. I got your interest, Joe. Go ahead. Well, how do I have your interest? Nobody's better than nobody else. Joe Shields, okay? You are where you're at. And for everybody who attends this broadcast, I have a total respect for. Why do I have a respect for? Because you guys are humble, and you and everybody here, me and everybody here rather, are on the same journey. I'm not better than you, Joe, or Troy, or Randy, okay? I am who I am. And I'm on the journey of learning and becoming better. And so is everybody else. All right, no jokes, Troy. Otterson. You know what I mean. This competition, there's somebody says no pain, no gain. Joe, talk to me, Joe. Let's have a little conversation. I've gotten your interest. Nobody's better than anybody else. Nobody. The way Buddy Rich heard Bugle Rag call, and the way Gene Krupa, Max Roach, Joe Morello. Absolutely, dear Joe. That is the first thing a drummer who's intelligent would say. I've come out of the drum corps, and they have individual contests. Joe just said that. Do you think it comes from the drum corps drummers because they're always in competition with each other? Well, that's a bad thing, and it's a good thing because, he was number one in the state. He was number two in the state. What does that really mean? Like I said, I was in the drum corps, and I did have a competitive attitude. And as a kid, I always thought I wanted to be the best in the world. This guy was better than that guy, and so on and so forth, until you become mature and you realize it don't mean shit. We all start somewhere, Jim. Joe, competition did stem from the drum corps. It does, because they're in competition. 10 different corps are out there in a contest, and they're marching around, and this such and such corps comes in with 95 points, the other one comes in with 96 points, whatever, so they won. So that's the competitive attitude where it started. And then individually, who was the best snare drummer in your corps? Who was the captain? So on and so forth. And, you would go to the state individual contest. You come in number one, number two, number three. That's competitiveness, which is good. It's an entrepreneur kind of bullshit where you make money, but it don't mean shit. That, field drumming, the drum corps drumming, is another kind of drumming. It's opposite of this. This here, I have no competitiveness with. My only competitiveness with being an instructor or an educator is football, soccer, basketball, and baseball. Because kids are out there playing baseball instead of sitting home practicing. Or they want to be on the Little League instead of taking a drum lesson. That's my competition. My competition is not you, not any drummer out there. Could you imagine us say, yeah, Joe Morello's my competition? Does that make any sense? Where's that? All I remember my conversations with Joe about technique was, trust me, Joe Morello, in my opinion, was the greatest technician in the world. and that sounds like I'm uh, contradicting myself. But I mean, I've noticed a lot of guys with their technique, and I compare him to Joe because I sat down with him for all that time. I know, and the way I feel about it, there's nobody. He was second to none. Okay, but that's how I feel. Somebody would say, "Well, I think so and so has a better technique." Well, fine. I'm not going to fight with you. My opinion is Joe Morello, and because it's not because he was so fast and so clean and so relaxed, but he made the most sense. The laws of physics. He never stated it's the laws of physics. It's just a natural thing. And that's where the language gets all screwed up. I'm not ranting or raving. You want to say something to me? It's not a rant. I just I can't stand these people. I put an announcement. I know it's premature right now. It's only January. March the 1st, I'm going to have uh, the three gentlemen and myself, and we're going to talk about the memories of Joe Morello and what Joe Morello's done for us and how he's contributed to the drum community and how he helped each one of us as an individual in our fun times. And plus their books that they've published. And there's going to be giveaways, contests. Would you say, for example, if I was doing the broadcast at the moment, I would say, okay, Joe, when you got in here, I give you a number. Say you're number one. Okay. Then Mr. Otterson, you came in, I gave you number two, a ticket. And I take it and I put it into the hat or the jar or whatever we're going to do. And through the course of the stream, we're going to have somebody will take a number out of it and say, okay, it's number one. Hey, guess what, Joe, you won. So say we're going a drum head or a pair of sticks or a book or a CD or a drum head. You get it, mailed to you. I can't do it to the guys in Europe. For me to send a pair of drumsticks in Europe, it costs $40. Don't make too much sense. I just might as well put in your PayPal account $10 to go buy a pair of sticks. It wasn't a rant. You don't want to hear me get pissed off and start flipping out. Anyway, that's it for today. I will be back tonight, 7 p.m. on my channel, www.mattpatellallivelessons.com. If there's a problem with the site, wait 5 minutes and come here. Okay, we all got that? Any questions on today? No more ranting, Joe. So, Joe, when do you want to have this discussion, you and I, in the chat, and whoever else wants to get into the chat and ask questions, but you want to get into something with you and I asking questions, you want me to rant? You too, Troy. Thanks for coming, man. And come back tonight. You know where to come, 7 p.m. And like I said, just to remind everybody, Thursday at 1 p.m., I'm not going to be able to do a lesson. I will try for 2:30. If I'm not on at 2:30, well, you're welcome, Randy. So tonight at 7, okay? I might be able to write out the vamping patterns. I've just been involved with this book. I'm almost done. It's a big book. Any questions? Okay, guys. Now remember, if there's any problems with tonight, with the broadcast from my site, wait 5 minutes and come here. Okay, guys. See you tonight. Have a good rest of the day and practice.